15 minutes delay. So basically we changed the name of this group from Entrepreneurship and Startup Club to just Entrepreneurship Club because we want you guys to get into the entrepreneurial mindset. So that will also be basically the theme of today's meeting, and we'll discuss a lot about that. So first of all, we will introduce the team, who is on the team and what roles they are doing and in what capacity they will be playing. Then we'll have Professor Mike Grandinetti share his insights about entrepreneurship and also about some of the events and the companies that he has run and what he is doing and how he can be a very beneficial resource to this club. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about the entrepreneurial mindset. Then we have laid out a little bit plan of module-wise events, how they're going to go. Then we'll have a breakout session in which you can go to the events VP or the marketing VP and talk to them about in which capacity you can serve this club and be an active member and participate in a lot of things. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming events, and then after Q&A, we're going to go downstairs to Little Lingo to know ourselves, get to know each other. Okay, so the team as it goes, I'm the president, Atif Khan. I am from MIB, Tremont, and I myself have a background in electrical engineering, and I've done six startups actually. And I would like to, share a lot of my insights and a lot of my experience with each and everyone, and also get to know or learn from each and everyone in this club. Then we have the vice president.
Hi, I'm Alexander. First we have Bethany, and
is that the signature sound that always goes off when you speak? Cool.
The Windows
little personal branding thing going on, huh? That's awesome.
Yeah, so I am from Sweden. I worked in Berlin in a startup, and that's why I'm standing here basically. And what I will be focusing on in this club is more getting out of campus to companies, on events, networking, whatever it might be. So if anyone's interested in helping me with that, let me know.
Okay, great. Next we have VP Events, Florentine Ahmad.
Hi everybody, great that you're all here. I know everybody has exams and it's really stressful time at the moment, but we're trying to bring really cool events here for you. So please get engaged in the club so you can get as much back as possible. Me, I'm from Austria, I'm in MIM, and I'm really excited to work with whoever wants to join the events team.
Cool, great.
Next we have VP Communications, Jay.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Wake up, Jay, wake up.
All right. Yeah, I am the VP of Communication. Basically facilitated all the communication inside and outside the club. So I would like this club to be united. So we'll be all. I'm reaching out to some companies, and if you want to help me with the Facebook, with the branding, with the position of the club, if you want to help me with reaching out to more corporate clients, I'm more than happy to have you on my team. So, and I'm from China. I spent 30 years in Malaysia. I have my own startup in China. I have a clothing designing company. We're basically doing well now in China. Yes. So that's me. Thank you.
Next we have VP Marketing, Beatrice.
Hi, I'm Beatrice, or if you speak Spanish or Portuguese, Beatriz. I'm from Brazil, and I am very interested in entrepreneurship, social business, social branding, consultancy, so I can help with a little bit of those things if anyone needs. And my background is in branding, so even though it says VP of Marketing, my head is all like, I want to turn this into a brand and not just spend the rest of the year doing flyers and posters. So if any of you is interested in branding, I wish to create like a very complete, very strong brand platform to like do a clear statement of mission, of purpose, what are our values, what do we stand for, and perhaps make it so great that it turns into a legacy for this club for the upcoming years. So feel free to join me.
Thank you, Beatrice. Next we have the money guy, VP Finance.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Nikhil here, and then I'm an MIB student too. So I have a background in finance, auditing assurance, and a lot of things deal with money. So I'm the money guy, and your money is safe.
Next we have the big guy, our meeting chairperson.
So I think I've met most of you out here through the long set of campaign. My name's Arjun. Well, I don't have 5 startups, but yes, I am a social entrepreneur, and I have 2 startups in India, basically dealing with events and online marketing. The social aspect of it is I have an NGO, which is a non-profit organization, and we help the poor and the underprivileged move out from poverty and help them with education. Why I'm in this club is to spread social entrepreneurship and help develop new ideas, help be a part of those ideas, and probably once I leave Hult, I wish that out of 100 or 200 of you guys staying here, right now there are only 20 I think, there would be at least 2 or 3 startups, and we all would love to be a part of the startup. So just giving you ideas, and we're there to support everyone. We have a great team, we all are a good team, and let's just make a difference.
Thank you so much, Arjun. So next we have, I will hand over the floor to Professor Mike after introducing him to you guys. If you do not know already who Professor Mike is, he's a global professor over here. He's a managing director of Startup and Protohack. He has done numerous startups and IPOs for NASDAQ. He has been a strategy consultant working independently now, formerly at McKinsey, and he's a great public speaker. You can watch a lot of videos of Professor Mike online for TEDx on YouTube and everything.
Thank you.
A big round of applause for Professor Mike.
Just to add, and he kindly agreed to be our mentor for this.
Exactly,
episode.
yes.
So hey everybody, how you doing tonight, okay? So who's got exams tomorrow?
Yes.
What the hell are you doing here? Go study. Okay. No, I'm joking. So I know a lot of my students are in the classroom, but at the same time, I also, how many did I see at the Hult Prize Primer last week? Anybody from the Hult Prize Primer?
Yeah.
Anybody go to our Open IDEO event last night?
Yes.
So is there anybody I haven't had a chance to meet yet through
Yes.
an event? Yeah, okay. All right. So tonight we're meeting, right? All right. So there's so many things we can talk about, but let's get down to sort of, you guys, one of the things that happens with our clubs is they start off with this incredible enthusiasm, and then life gets in the way. Okay, it's like, oh shit, I got midterms, I got the Thanksgiving holidays, I'm flying back home to see my family over the break, and the next thing you know, it's May and you're rotating and not a whole lot happens, right? But you don't want to be that club, right? Entrepreneurs have a bias toward action. So if anybody's going to set the standard this year for getting fun stuff done, this should be the club. So the good news is I've got a lot of stuff already in the works that you can collaborate on. And we'll talk about some of that stuff because there's a lot of things I do here in town that I think will be extremely useful to you from an experiential education perspective that will extend beyond whatever courses that you take here at home. So we'll talk about a few of those. How many of you care more about social entrepreneurship than traditional entrepreneurship? Where is the social entrepreneurs, okay? And I love the idea that you called it the Entrepreneur Club because I really think you want to make room for both types of people in the club. Because increasingly social entrepreneurship is a very, very important form of entrepreneurship. And one of the many programs I teach in Hult is our MSc program in San Francisco, our Masters in Social Entrepreneurship program. And what I always tell our MSc students is we need to make you great entrepreneurs first before we make you great social entrepreneurs. Because if you do not understand the same practices and principles that they practice in Silicon Valley or Berlin or London or Boston or Singapore or Bangalore, then you're going to fail, right? So entrepreneurship, there's a core there, and then how you apply that, whether you're working on a healthcare technology, right? Whether you're working on education technology, like last night's Open IDEO meetup, whether you're working on some social impact-oriented type of venture, it's all about how you apply it. It's about the purpose of the venture and what you want to get done, right? So I think there's a lot of room for both. And so let me begin to talk about some opportunities where you guys might be able to benefit from some of the things that we've already got going on. So last night we did something around the Open IDEO Challenge. For those of you who don't know IDEO, it's the world's premier innovation consultancy. The people that founded IDEO were the secret weapons behind the success of Apple. And design thinking has become an extremely important skill for anybody trying to get a job in the innovation economy. And that means people that care about entrepreneurship. So we launched the challenge last night that's going to run through January, although the most important part will end on the 8th of December, where people will come together using the Open IDEO platform to work on innovative ideas to pursue providing a more affordable opportunity for education for anybody that wants it. Doesn't matter what your bank account looks like or what your father's bank account looks like, okay? So we kicked that off last night. If that's of interest to you, there's a lot of people in the room that are involved. Beatrice is on the organizing committee. Other people were there. You know, that's something that you can start to do whenever you find the time. It's not something that you have to do in a group, although there's a lot more learning that is done. One of our organizing committee members, Bhavna, who's an MIB from Mumbai, India, made a very important statement. She studied industrial design at a 4-year college. She said she learned more about design through an open IDEO challenge than she did through 4 years of studying, right? So that's one really interesting thing that has a very strong social orientation, okay? Connell is on the organizing team. I know this is something that he works on. This is a passion of his long before he came to Hult, right? So a lot of you care about stuff like this. The second major thing that will happen on campus is something that is called Startup Next. Startup Next is an accelerator that I run here in Boston. It's part of Techstars. How many of you guys know what an accelerator is? Okay, what is an accelerator? How would you describe an accelerator? What do they do at accelerators?
They help to guide you from an incubation stage to a product. It's like a market, so like you only launch products to market.
Cool.
They help you get to that level, and
yeah,
they help you grow scale.
Cool. And what's your name?
Hassan.
Hassan, where are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
Cool. And what program are you in?
I'm MIB.
Cool. Thank you, Hassan. So Hassan says exactly right. Right. It's a vehicle that takes an entrepreneurial, very small entrepreneurial team, and through an intense amount of mentorship and connection to the marketplace, connection to customers, connection to strategic partners, connections to investors, they help you accelerate your idea in a way that's almost unthinkable even a few years ago. And so Startup Next is an accelerator. We run around the world, but I run the Boston part of it. And we're going to be running our Startup Next accelerator here. We have the opportunity to run the program out of the campus here at Hult. And so I'm now in the process of selecting from a group of 200 applicants the 7 teams that we will incubate over the next few months. We'll likely kick this program off just after the first of the year here on campus, okay? And so I would invite you guys to come and sit and listen and see how this is done. Now, one of the opportunities that I gave a lot of my students last year, both my MIM students, but all of my students, was to start doing projects on behalf of these Startup Next teams, okay? And so a number of my students have now been hired by some of the startups that I brought onto campus. In my MIM class last year, so all of my MIMs, raise your hand. So I'm going to get to see you guys in another couple of months. And one of the things we did in my social and digital advertising and marketing class is the final project was a consulting project for a startup to do branding and social and marketing. I brought in 15 startups from London and New York and San Francisco and Montreal, and the students spent 3 months working with these startups doing marketing consulting for the startups. It was a very important part of their grade. It was about half the grade. And so the students had an opportunity, and what a lot of the students learned is that when they wound up working with bigger brands, in general, big brands move very slowly. They don't necessarily give an intern or a younger student the opportunity to work on anything meaningful. The students, a lot of them really said, you know, this is pretty amazing. I'm giving them advice, they're listening to me, they're implementing my ideas, and I know I'm having impact. Profound change in the way that they felt like their work was being received. So this will be another opportunity for members of the Entrepreneurship Club to participate directly in not just Boston startups, because I travel a couple hundred days a year. I sit on boards all around the world. I advise companies all around the world. And if I see a company that I think would benefit from your help, or that likewise you guys would find interesting, then I'll try to create those connections, okay? A very near-term opportunity is a hackathon event that we are creating here in Boston in just a few weeks. Who's been to a hackathon? Anybody? Okay, so Hassan's been to a hackathon, but we've got a bunch of, and just a lot of newbies, right? So what's a hackathon, right? Why were there 18,000 hackathons in the world last year? What's happened to the world that we had 18,000 hackathons last
Yes,
year?
usually there was challenges. It could be anything social, it could be technology, it could be any kind of challenge.
Right.
And the idea is like, usually it's always during the weekend, so it should probably start with Friday and end
Yeah,
Sunday.
exactly.
And the idea is to come up with a solution that tackles the problem.
Yeah.
And it could be a technology solution, it could be an application. And a lot of them generate so many solutions. So
Cool. So there's many hackathons, and a hackathon is essentially an opportunity for a small team of people to come together and work on an idea. So you can have hackathons that are focused on, so for example, at MIT, they have the MIT Hacking Medicine Hackathon. And as you can imagine, it's all doctors and people that care very much about medicine. A number of my students last year that were medical doctors that had gone back to school to become entrepreneurs, I sent them over, they did very well. But you can have hackathons for almost anything where you're trying to come up with a quick solution to a problem. Okay? The challenge with a lot of hackathons is if you don't write code, if you don't write software, you're sort of on the outside looking in. You're a second-class citizen. So this hackathon that we're bringing to Boston on the 21st of November, which is a Saturday, as Hassan says, they're almost always on weekends, was designed especially for people like you guys that don't write code. Now, I assume some of you might write code, but the majority of Hult students don't write code, okay? So this makes the hackathon experience accessible for people who don't know how to code in Perl or JavaScript or Ruby on Rails or whatever, right? And the way that it's going to work, and forgive me, because some of my students have heard this now at least twice, if not 3 times, right? Because I'm seeing you in different groups on different nights. But the way it works is you would come on, if you wanted to, on the night of the 20th, it's a pre-event team building happy hour. And a friend of mine runs an award-winning craft brewery. So if we've got Germans in the room, for that reason alone, you should come, okay? World-class beers and ales. And it's a chance to come together and rally around an idea and to form a team. But the event runs all day on Saturday, the 21st of November, from 9 in the morning till about 9 o'clock at night. And you either come with an idea, and that idea can be your own startup that you're working on right now, right? And you can bring others with you to work on the idea, or you can pitch that idea, and get other people in the room to join you to work on that idea for the day. Or you come with your Hult Prize team. Who's going to do the Hult Prize? Anybody on the Hult Prize? Okay. Yep. So we've got a few ambitious folks in the room, right? So if you want to work on your Hult Prize idea, you make sure you come with your team. And I got to say why that's important. Last year I was in San Francisco in Module. And we ran a hackathon on campus for Hult Prize participants early in the process in Module. The San Francisco students who went through the hackathon experience in the Hult Prize were light years ahead of their Boston counterparts. So I came back to Boston to celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday, and I was asked by the dean to come and mentor the Hult Prize teams here. And I was very, very disappointed by how far behind the teams here were. Many of them had barely gotten started. They got distracted by their social lives and their homework. And so this is a great opportunity to sort of use as a forcing mechanism. If you're really serious about getting involved in the Hult Prize, as you heard me say last Monday night, jump in now. Don't wait. There's a lot of work that needs to be done if people are going to judge you as the team that is worthy of representing the Hult Boston campus to the world, right? It's a lot of work. So you come, you bring your Hult Prize idea, you bring your Open IDEO idea, or you come and you join other people's ideas. So we have people coming from MIT, the Rhode Island School of Design, and Brown University, all of whom have a Design for America chapter. So if you have a social impact orientation, Design for America uses design thinking skills specifically to solve local social problems. So all of these people will be getting up and pitching and saying, this is what we're working on, would you like to join us today? And you have the opportunity to work on something you're very passionate about. I have another group of people coming up from Washington, D.C. that run something called the Conscious Capital Venture Lab. If you know Whole Foods, the CEO of Whole Foods is a guy named John Mackey. John Mackey wrote a book called Conscious Capital. And conscious capital is about doing well by doing good. Okay? That when we engage ourselves in work, it's not just about profit, it's about doing other positive things for society. So there's a group of people led by a gentleman by the name of Jeff Cherry that's going to come up from the Conscious Capital Lab. Have another group from the Future Cities Initiative, also from DC. Future Cities Initiative is affiliated with the Clinton Global Initiative. And they're, as you can imagine, all about making future cities more livable, more sustainable. And they're going to be working on how do you reduce urban congestion in inner cities by using autonomous vehicles, as we might call them, Google cars. Okay? And so if you're into the Google car thing and you want to work on reducing congestion in urban cities, you will have a chance to work on that challenge. Okay? So there will be many different types of challenges. Or we have the Berklee School of Music. Anybody know the Berklee School of Music? Berklee School of Music is one of the great assets here in Boston. 250 of their graduates have won Grammy Awards, which is the highest honor for a popular musician. Many, many of their graduates are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So for my generation, that means something, okay? I actually like most of the people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You guys probably don't even know who they are, right? So we have this school called Berklee, and they've got this new creative entrepreneurial institute, and they want to give their music students the opportunity to participate in the innovation economy. And they said, we don't want to just judge you as being a successful music major if you've been a great performer or a great director or a great producer. We believe that music can have all kinds of benefits in society. And so they're working with people in healthcare and wellness, and they're trying to create a completely different approach to how you apply a degree in music. So we're going to have people from the Berklee School of Music, Institute of Creative Entrepreneurship come. And then we've got just random entrepreneurs that have been signing up. I've been out talking to people over the last couple months that are going to come, they're going to pitch their ideas. So all of these things are happening in the Proto-Hack on the 21st of November. It's going to sell out, it's going to sell out quickly. So if this is something that sounds interesting, I would suggest sooner rather than later that you register. And I would suggest that you get your team to come with you, especially if you're doing something on the whole price. Okay? To me, that would be a huge opportunity to really push your thinking quickly. Okay? So these are some of the planned activities. I'm happy to support you guys in other activities that you believe are going to facilitate your own growth. But like any other club, right? If you guys don't do this together, it's not going to get done. You can't just assume others are going to organize these events. They don't organize themselves, guys. Okay? I run meetups in town all the time. It takes a lot of time and energy to get people to show up in a room on a specific night at a specific time because people are busy. Okay? So any questions I can answer for you guys? No? You're not afraid of me, right? I mean, I know my own students are not afraid of me. They know we can have a discussion. Yeah, what do you say, son?
Yeah, so for the startup accelerator, you said, so what kind of startup should we, do you accept? And
Okay.
is there like an application process? And what is their main focus? Tell me the target market.
Okay, so Hassan asked what kind of, and remember, every accelerator has its own focus. So there are some accelerators that just do healthcare. There are some accelerators that do, like the Qualcomm accelerator that's part of Techstars does robotics. And there's another one here in Greentown Labs in Somerville. It's all clean tech. There's one in Houston, it's all about energy, right? There's certain ones, like there's Tummel in San Francisco, and they do social projects focused on solving problems in urban environments. So every accelerator has its own theme, its own focus. Startup Next is a horizontal accelerator, meaning we are agnostic or indifferent about what technology space you're in. But and we're early, right? We're really the first accelerator you go to. So we're looking for, in general, some very important criteria. Entrepreneurship is a team sport, period. If you think you're going to do this alone, you're crazy. And so we look for something called a hacker and a hustler. What's a hacker and a hustler? A hacker is the technical person on the team, the person that writes iOS code or JavaScript or Perl or C#. The hustler is more than likely you guys, the commercial people, the people out looking for customers, looking for partnerships, looking for capital, right? So if you don't have a two-headed team, we don't even think about bringing anyone, because the entrepreneur is very, very unrealistic. The second thing is that you have to have some level of market traction. This has gone beyond the idea. It's not just, I think this is going to work. No, there are customers that are using your minimum viable product. They will say that you are living in the realm of reality, that you're focusing on a problem that they care about, right? So those are some of the essential parts that you can now commit to being a part of this program from start to finish. That we have a dashboard and you're keeping your KPIs up to date every week, okay? And that you're coachable. There's nothing worse than giving up a seat to an entrepreneur. We had an entrepreneur come through who for 7 weeks heard the same feedback, didn't do a goddamn thing about it, okay? And that just drives all of us mentors crazy, okay? And by the way, in Pro to Hack, the mentors are world-class mentors. You're gonna have a chance to work with some of the greatest designers, product managers, people that understand how to create pitches and stories, judges, the mentorship. So if you're not willing to allow great people to mentor you, then you should not be an entrepreneur, okay? You should go be a painter or do something that doesn't require you to interact with humanity, because it's gonna be a failed process. Yeah.
Well, it's not exactly a question. I just wanted to thank you very much for accepting our invitation and let you know that we're probably going to be bothering you a lot.
Okay, that's cool.
It's just that we have a lot of ideas, a lot of plans. We want to get very ambitious at this. So whoever you can recommend, whatever you can help us make happen.
Okay. Right. But to your point from before, I think you guys need to decide what you stand for, what you want to accomplish, what kinds of events that are going to do that. Then once I know that, then we can have a good discussion about using my network and helping you fill those events, okay? All right, I wish you guys a lot of success with this, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you guys, take care.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about a little bit about what we have planned for this year for this club. What is more of it's in the Firefox, I've already. It's a short 2 to 3 minute video. And
what's the video?
It's the coffee.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just see it.
I'm Gary Schoniger. I'm the founder of the Entrepreneurial Learning Initiative. We're the creators of the Ice House Entrepreneurship Program. We all know that entrepreneurship education has never been more important than it is today. And yet the subject of entrepreneurship is still not well understood. And consequently, much of our efforts to teach entrepreneurship are limited in terms of efficacy, scalability, and scope. In the past, we ignored entrepreneurs. They were looked upon as mavericks or fringe players who bucked the system. Today, they have become the engines that are now driving our economy. And yet, while we know a lot about the inner workings of large established companies and small business management, the entrepreneurial process is still widely misunderstood. Much of our efforts are over-influenced by the Silicon Valley narrative, which often leads to a plan and pitch approach, where students are encouraged to develop new technologies, conduct market research, write business plans, and present their ideas to potential investors. Yet what many don't realize is that very few businesses actually start this way. In fact, far less than 1% of all new ventures created in the U.S. each year receive venture capital investment at their inception. So while these elite Silicon Valley success stories may capture headlines, they do not accurately reflect the process that most entrepreneurs undertake. Others fail to distinguish between entrepreneurship and small business management. They tend to approach a startup as if it were simply a smaller version of a large corporation. They encourage students to learn business management skills such as marketing and finance, accounting and legal structures. Skills that are important for managing an existing business, yet skills that are not all that helpful when it comes to identifying and evaluating new opportunities. The truth is, entrepreneurship is not management, and neither of these approaches accurately portrays the process that entrepreneurs typically undertake. We also found that entrepreneurs are not likely to be experts with years of experience in their chosen field. In fact, many have no experience at all. And yet, somehow, they manage to succeed. The real question is how. How are they able to identify and evaluate opportunities that others overlook? What is the mindset and the process that ultimately enables them to succeed? That's why we created the Ice House Entrepreneurship Program. We wanted to design a program that would inspire and engage a broad range of students from a wide variety of backgrounds, disciplines, and interests. We wanted to develop an experiential, problem-based approach that would immerse students in real-world, resource-constrained circumstances that will help them develop critical thinking, communication, effective problem-solving, and other key entrepreneurial skills. And we wanted to create a scalable program, one that would not require the instructor to become an expert in the field of entrepreneurship. At the end of the day, entrepreneurship is more than an academic discipline. It's really a mindset. It provides a framework for thinking and acting that can empower anyone to succeed. And in today's world, it's a mindset that every student needs.
That's great. Well chosen. All right, have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so I'm just gonna skip through the slides a little bit. So the next is that what we're, no, go back. Yeah, the next thing is that we in this club would encourage any kind of idea from anyone over here or from outside.
Do something you're very
yeah, go back to the
and
but basically what each and every idea would entail would be the three-step approach. You have to come up with something that, you know, kind of like is a solution to a problem. You have to identify the problem, you then have to come up with a solution for it, and after that, we will help you to go through with the whole business plan. We will help you to connect with the network, together with Professor Mike, so that you guys can go out, and if you do have any idea for any kind of thing, you can make a company from it. I've seen like very small miniature type of ideas, like, and they have become like $1 billion of businesses just because the people wanted to become a big company and they believe in themselves. So we over here, just like Arjun mentioned at the start, that we would encourage that we as a club generate 2 to 3 startups this year from here. But if not, any kind of problem that you think you have found a solution for, we would encourage you to come and kind of like work with us, and we will facilitate you to make it a big business. Next slide. Okay, so basically this is the module-wise events plan. Module A, we will be having workshop for developing entrepreneurial
I
vision.
have a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, to go back to the other slide.
Mhm.
So if we do have an idea or something like that, how do we pitch the idea to you? Like
Okay, for example, this is the 3-step approach. This is the basic entrepreneurial approach that anyone takes.
Yeah.
You have to first of all identify a problem that affects large mass, or even if not a large mass, a population that is considerably big enough that you can make that idea into a business. Next, you have to have a solution. If you have a solution, we will help you make it a business.
I mean, I understand that. So I say I have an idea and I have a solution for
Yeah.
the problem that I've identified.
Okay.
So I want to take it to the next step. So I just let you know about it? Do I present
Yeah,
it in
you
front of the group, or
connect
how
with
does
the
it go?
team. You connect
Okay.
with the team, and then
Everyone in
we
this club
talk
does
about
that.
it. Exactly,
Everyone
and
should
you
be part
can
of it.
discuss it with anyone in the club if
Okay.
you want to, and anyone in the club would like to. I'm guessing everyone would love to help
Yeah.
with it. But we, as a team, the coordinators, we will become your facilitators to make it a business. We'll use our network. We'll tap into a lot of different things, and we'll make it happen.
Okay, and I have one more. I'm sorry.
To add on to that, we're gonna have a schedule throughout the year, so you can really develop your idea. And then we're gonna have events which are then
Exactly.
facilitating exactly that. So you will learn how to pitch, you can have pre-pitches, you will learn how to convince investors. So we're gonna have throughout the year a process of how really to start up your own business.
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
And we will have, that is one of the events in Module C. I'm going to come to that in a bit.
I have one more question. I don't know if you're going to talk about this later or not, but say if we're looking for that hacker, we're the hustler, but we need that hacker to kind of join our team. Are you guys going to have something that kind of connects us with the hacker?
Yeah,
There is
definitely. Go to the
one
slide.
thing
Okay, I know you guys want to talk about
Yeah.
that. I'm sorry. If you're going to talk about it,
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. So the module is, yeah. So basically it will be developing entrepreneurial vision, what it is to be an entrepreneur, how to go about a lot of different things. Business plan workshop, we're going to have that. I myself, together with Professor Mike and 1 or 2 other speakers, will be running this. Then we have coaching. Chloe, do you want to take a minute to talk about coaching?
So what we thought, we want this club to be really engaging so that you get out as much as you put in. So what we want to introduce is a coaching method I've learned. It's basically whoever's interested, they can shoot me an email, and then we'll coordinate teams of 4 people. I can do a workshop with all of you to see the confidentiality, and basically it's a way of, you get 3 people who can share experiences when you encountered a problem, and by sharing those experiences, they'll be able to tap into your field which you don't know. So you have a problem, for example, and you share this problem with those 3 other people in like the session, and then at one point they say, hey, I encountered a similar problem, and then they share this experience, and by sharing this experience, you might realize a completely new way to approach this problem. So we really want you to have those 3 other people then in groups together, and you can meet regularly. You can, like, we'll do a workshop on it, but then it's up to you how you can take that on. But the great thing about that is after that year, you'll take away 3 people you really trusted with a lot, and they really know you, and that's a great thing, I think, throughout the whole different one.
And these workshops would, you know, kind of like entail professional problems or professional coaching as well as personal coaching. Next, for your finding the hacker, we are going to be networking with a lot of other universities because the greater Boston area has a lot of them, and we will be networking with MIT, Harvard, all of them, so that you get your hacker. Okay. In addition to that, have you guys heard about Venture Cafe? We also included this in the first email that we sent out. It is like over here in Cambridge Innovation Center. They meet every week on Thursday, and there are startups who come up there and pitch. And if you want to join them, or either you have a great idea and you think you're ready to pitch, you can go there. There are investors from different corners of the world coming, and you can join them and actually talk to them. And tomorrow they have a Babson College Challenge. It starts at 5:30. So whoever is interested, I highly recommend you go to Cambridge Innovation Center. Next, we have the Y Center CEO event on 24th. You want to talk a little bit about that?
I think the entire team has been doing really great in connecting with a lot of CEOs. Today morning, I was on a call with Dhairya Pujara. So he's a social entrepreneur, and he's a pastor from Drexel University. And he's expanded his business to Africa, Mozambique in Africa, and in India. He's also a TEDx talker, and he's a speaker. He's been speaking in 4 different continents altogether. He's a social entrepreneur, as in he's developed an application for people in Africa, and that application basically helps them to cure malaria, and on 25-cent basis. So he'll be here on 24th November. So we'll just lock in a time and we'll shoot across an email. He's a great speaker. You'll learn a lot from him. Yeah.
Thank you. So that is pretty much it for Module A, but I would like your ideas, any kind of idea, anytime you have a speaker coming in or anything, just get in touch with Flory. She's the VP events, and you guys can contribute, because I want this club to have members that are active in it, and when they pass out, they can tell people that, yes, we did this, we led this type of workshop, we invited this speaker. Plus, inviting speakers is a great way to network with them, and that is like the only basic thing. So get in touch with Flory if you guys have any events or you want to run point or anything. Go back to Module B. Yeah, so in Module B, which will start around January, we will have IXL Olympics. How many of you guys have heard of IXL Olympics? Wow, just me? Okay, so IXL Olympics is basically innovation-based Olympics challenges. There is always a new challenge that you have to kind of like solve in a team and then present in front of investors and present in front of a board. So we would like all of you to either make teams from this club or teams from outside, but definitely encourage your guys' participation, because by then we would have enough workshops to let you guys have the mindset of how you can innovate and how you can start a company and how you can find your hacker as well. Then we have also a mass challenge. You want to take like 30 seconds?
I can just do it briefly. It's a lot similar to the Startup Next, but on a much bigger scale. And it's happening here in Boston, in UK, in Jerusalem, I think. And I don't know if anyone will be at that stage that they're ready for the application in March. But it's definitely a company to check out if you want to volunteer in Boston and meet a lot of entrepreneurs, because they run 126 companies through this accelerator during every summer. and they're great prices. I think they are doing, they gave out $1.5 million last week in their workshop, for example.
Thank you, Alex. So basically, these events and challenges that we are talking about, these are going to run along. In addition to this, we will have workshops and other, you can say, business development strategies and stuff like that. Plus, we'll have a lot of speakers coming in once we have the dates locked down, and then we can share it with you guys. Venture Cafe, as I mentioned, will be going along the whole year, and the coaching that Flory just mentioned. In Module C, coming to your business plan pitch up. This is an event that we are going to have in Module C. If you guys come up with an idea or any challenge that you are participating in, and you have developed your business plan, I myself here will use my connections with Dubai Consultancy Group, and we will have a speaker from DCG, Dr. Usman Hassan. He can, I will not quote a figure here, but he is a big investor, and he can contribute a lot to any startup in any kind of way. But you have to have a good business plan by then, if you have any kind of idea. So we will have a business plan pitch off. If anyone wants to participate in that, we will have him on the board as well, and he will be here for a speaking session as well. And we have the Venture Cafe and coaching going on. Now, this is just a small outline of what we have planned and what we are doing. We will incorporate a lot of different events into this. So with the exact dates, you guys will always be notified in email and stuff. Okay.
We can do this.
Yeah, we can do this at the networking event. Okay, so just a heads up for the upcoming events, which are in November and December. We have Spark. How many of you guys have heard of Spark, Harvard? Okay, so I highly suggest that you guys go to Spark on this Saturday. Why? Next slide. Because you can have an idea about anything. You can pitch it, just pitch it, not the full-blown business plan. And you can be a part of to win in the competition to win $1,500. Like that's just right off the bat. You will be allowed 3 to 4 minutes to pitch it in front of a board, and they will decide like how they're going to evaluate. And if you do, you're going to win $1,500. I mean, that's good enough, like, for anything. There's no need to do a full-blown case like business plan for this. So do go to this. The tickets are not that expensive, and it's still on, and it is on November 14th. Can you go back? Yeah. And Open IDEO, just like Professor Mike mentioned, MIT Energy Hackathon is also on this weekend from Friday to Sunday. It's a free event. If you are interested in companies like Schlumberger, like Shell, all of them are going to be there, and they are going to be discussing their energy crisis problems. You, as a hustler, can participate. You can be either a team or go there and form a team. Then we have Proto Hacks, just like Professor Mike was talking about, on November 21st. Axel Olympics, Mass Challenge. That's pretty much it. And I would like to welcome Joanne Markov. She just joined us a little bit during the session.
Just a couple things to add to this. Monday the 16th, we're having a pitch expert come to campus. It's around 6 p.m. His name is Stuart, and he teaches the Mass Challenge teams how to pitch. Okay. So whether you have a 6-minute or 8-minute pitch, he goes through kind of a formulaic way of how to pitch and what to look for if you have a very limited amount of time. So that's on Monday the 16th here, November 16th at 6 p.m. The second thing is we had a lot of students go to the MIT Nerd Center last year, which is a great way to network. A bunch of students met Microsoft folks, and they also got networked around the Kendall Square area. The third thing is Kendall Square has a lot of tech breakfasts, so if you want to hear pitching ideas or just go from like 8 to 10 in the morning, just look at like tech meetup groups or tech breakfasts. There's a lot more around Kendall Square. The other thing is, in addition to the Venture Cafe, is District Hall, which is in Seaport, which is the same kind of thing.
Exactly.
So keep them out on the radar.
Now, I just mentioned Venture Cafe because you can walk over there.